In this video, I'm going to be talking about Arsenal after their defeat 2-0 against Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby, and I'm going to talk about what they need to do from player to manager to club level to get back to their very best. Now, before we get started, I want to remind everybody who's new or hasn't subscribed yet to please do so. As you can see in my last video, 18.4% of you have not subscribed yet. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get into it. So guys, it's it's no doubt that we all know what happened with Arsenal today. I'm going to be talking about it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to show some love by leaving your opinion on the match and on Arsenal's season down below. Consider liking and subscribing if you like what's going on. I'm on Twitch and every other social media platform at JoseNChill, so please, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, I see all you guys like Toon leaving messages in the chat. I'm going to get to those, but I've just got a few things to talk about, and we're going to start by actually showing the game right here. Unfortunately, my face is in the way, but we're just going to deal with it. Obviously, for those who don't know, Tottenham beat Arsenal 2-0. Heung-min Son goal assisted by Harry Kane, and then a Harry Kane goal assisted by Heung-min Son. We sucked. But there's a lot to talk about. And we're going to start with the lineup, okay? I'm going to breeze through some of these things because I want to talk more about Arsenal's present and their future. I want to talk about the game just so we know the context that we're talking about immediately. But basically, it was Spurs' best 11, Bar and Ndombele for Moussa Sissoko. As far as Arsenal's best 11, one, we don't really know it yet, but Pepe was suspended, so Willian played. Thomas Partey was just coming back from injury. He ended up getting re-injured in the build-up to Arsenal's, Spurs' second goal. And I know FootMob has it as a 3-4-3. It was really a 4-2-3-1. Kieran Tierney damn near played as a left winger, and Aubameyang played like, shit. But I've got some points I wanted to go through because a large portion of the fan base is saying that, it's Arteta out, Arsenal's a shambles, we're getting relegated, all this stuff. To answer Toon's question about the formation, I don't have a problem with the formation. It's very fluid. We know what we do. We push Gabriel to the left. We push Holding to the right. Tierney goes up. Bukayo Saka slots in, and he goes farther down. It's a 4-3-3. 4-2-3-1. It's more about the tactics. The formation is just how they line up. Now, I'm gonna just make it really clear. If you're saying Arteta out, you're an idiot, and I'll explain why. Where is Zesty? Probably hiding. Probably hiding. He'll come here. He'll come in and say something ridiculous in a little bit. Now, to discuss Arsenal's present, we need to talk Arsenal's recent past. And I've said it in other videos. I put it up in another video. If you're watching on YouTube, you can probably watch it in the tags right here. Now, Arsenal started to rebuild after Arsene Wenger left, headed by Ivan Gazidis, Raul Sanllehi, Sven Mislintat. They're all gone. They all left at the very latest this past summer in August. The real rebuild is just starting. So if you're saying, oh, we've had 5 years where we haven't been competitive, that's on the board. Don't bring that vitriol, don't bring that anger to Edu and Arteta and Vinay Ventukesham. Don't do it, because you've already lost the plot. So, where does that leave us? It leaves us to an unproven young manager and a young technical director heading a team, starting in the summer transfer window, impacted by COVID-19. What does that mean? It means that we have very few resources and a lot to do. Now, lazy, right now, Arsenal are 15th in the league right here, but I do want to point out, we just finished match week 11. There's still a few teams left to play, but bottom line, from 4th to 15th is 7 points. 7 points. So it's really not too crazy. It's really not too crazy. It's tight right now. And if you guys want to talk about other rebuilds compared to this one, we can talk about it later. Now, The real rebuild that we've gotten really started when Arteta came in. Edu had nothing to do with the summer transfer window, and it was very public that he was not responsible for any of that, and it was very public that Arteta did not have any say in the signings of Cedric and Pablo Mari. So what does that leave? What does that leave? That leaves Arteta trying to sign Housamawar, Thomas Partey, and Willian. Willian makes sense. A veteran, Premier League proven, free. Thomas Partey makes sense. Box-to-box midfielder, very talented, does everything we need. The last profile was an attacking-minded midfielder, someone who can bring the ball into the final third and distribute it from there. We've talked about it at length. That's the profile Arsenal needed and are still looking at. However, for whatever reason, the self-sustaining model, we were not able to get that profile of a player in, despite Arteta's insistence. Now, it's a little ridiculous, yes, but moving on, we can understand that it's a transfer window impacted by COVID, and a lot of the deadwood we were not able to get rid of due to that. For example, Sead Kolasinac, Skradran Mustafi. We were looking at loaning Saliba, Mohamed Al-Neni we were trying to sell. Obviously, Saliba's different, but just saying. And we had to resort to another loan for Dani Ceballos just to make sure everything was good. We couldn't get rid of Mesut Ozil, even. So, oh no, here's Zesty saying Arteta out. So that's where we are. Arteta was able to bring in 2 of the 3 people he actually wanted. One of them he wanted because he was free and easy to get. Lazy, if you say Bellerin's a joke of a footballer, I've already spoken at length as to why he's not, and I can further explain that even more, but I don't want to go off on a tangent. I want to get to talking about Arsenal. Do not scapegoat one of the better players in the team. Now, that's Arsenal's squad right now. We've already talked about that. Where does their future lead them? Well, we know Arteta's in charge of the team and has a say in transfers, and it's Edu's job to execute them. Where before it was Edu and Raul and Vinay Ventukesham. So now we know what's going on. Where does this lead us forward? We obviously need the attacking profile in that midfield. We have no goals for midfield. It's known. We need that in the midfield, and we've identified a few targets in Dominic Szoboszlai and in Housamawar that can fulfill that role. Now it's time for Arsenal to make a statement as a club. Ricky, thank you so much for the raid, my man. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. Lazy, I'ma rip you a new one on that one, my man. Give me a second. Ricky, thank you so much, brother. We are in the middle of talking about Arsenal. And unfortunately, I cannot read every comment right now. I want to make sure we don't get too sidetracked because I'm also trying to get this on YouTube. But Ricky, thank you so much. Late Night Crew, you know to show some love. Ricky, please let me know how your stream went. Now, Arsenal need to make a statement as a club. Arteta is deserving of criticism. But if you think a guy... DVComs24, thank you so much for the follow, my man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. If you think that Arteta, after jumping in December, after one of the worst runs Arsenal's had in the last 10 years, to turn it around, have 3 months where he could not work with his squad because of COVID, to then come back and play in the summer, win an FA Cup, win a Community Shield, have 3 weeks off season, and then start a season again where he couldn't get his transfer targets and he couldn't get rid of the players he wanted to get rid of. If you think that guy is gonna immediately solve things, I think you're quite wrong. Even the best managers need time and they need the funds. You look at Klopp, 35 mil on Salah, 70 mil on Alisson, 50 mil on Fabinho. Those numbers may be somewhat wrong, but they're around there. God knows how much on Keita. He had the funds. Pep Guardiola had the funds. And that was all done before this huge influx of money for the lower teams in the Prem that now have so much more money to play off of. The reasons why Arsenal don't have the funds we talked about in the previous video. Make sure to check that out. Now, Arteta needs a transfer window. And Arsenal have come out and said that January transfer windows are not necessarily the biggest transfer windows for them to take action. It's kind of where they bounce their books, send out loans and stuff like that. That needs to go out the window. Arsenal needs to make a statement as a club beyond Arteta. The owners need to show where their intent is, guys. That's what needs to happen, and that is done by getting Awar, by getting a Szoboszlai, by making a high-profile signing to boost the team, because it's obvious that it's needed, and it's obvious that this is not working as quickly as we hope they want, you know? They say the right things, but they haven't taken action, or at least not enough action, and we need to see that. Now, there's a poll going on right now. Is Bellerin the reason Arsenal are failing? If you blame the right back for 11 players not being able to play, then, my friend, you've lost the plot and you're scapegoating one player. You can criticize, but then when you start talking about, let me read your comment. Bellerin is a joke. He's the reason you fail. He cares more about his shitty hairstyles than his profession. Dude, my hair is longer than Bellerin's. And also, since when does someone's expression of their hair and fashion define them as a player? Last I checked, people can have interests outside their job, and this is Hector Bellerin's job. So to attack him for his hair, for his use of pronouns, which I've seen on Twitter, is ridiculous and frankly idiotic. And it's all love, Lazy, but that goes not just to you. That goes to everybody who's been making those thoughts on Twitter. You can say he needs to go without blaming his like of hair. I like my hair. I think everybody who has hair would like to have hair. You know what I mean? So, moving forward, Arsenal need to make a statement. They need to sign a player in January. They need to do something that they have not done before. They've spent, Emmanuel, thanks so much for the host, man. They've spent 72 mil on Pepe, 56 on Aubameyang, 48 on Lacazette. They've spent the money, but they have not spent it efficiently enough. Pepe, as I've said every time, is an inside forward who's being pushed to play as a traditional right winger. He does not do that. At Lille, he played for a counter-attacking side. What he did is progress the ball and shoot. And he does not have the freedom to do that, and he's being converted to an out-and-out winger. Sure. You know why? Because Arteta has to deal with the players that he has. And then if you say, oh, we'll get rid of the players that aren't good enough to play for the club, guess what we tried to do? Get rid of the players that were not good enough to play for the club. Guess what happened? COVID-19. We can't get this done in one transfer window. We won't be able to get it done in January either. But to say that he should leave after delivering 2 trophies in December, in game week 11, I think is drastically too soon, because then what's going to happen? We're going to get another manager. Let's say we can prize a good manager out. Let's say fucking Milan's manager, who's evading me right now. Zesty, I'll answer those questions later, my man. Let's say we get someone like that. That's not, you know, a Pep Guardiola, a Jurgen Klopp, like not a world-class player, or manager, even though they need time. What's gonna happen is they're gonna come in during a very toxic time and have the same group of players that has disappointed Arsene Wenger, disappointed Unai Emery, disappointed Freddie Ljungberg, and now are letting down Arteta. Is Arteta free of criticism? No. Again, I will gladly speak about all the criticisms against Arteta. I will gladly speak on. But getting another manager in is like fucking a hooker because your girl broke up with you. Your girl broke up with you because you're a piece of shit. Players fail under Wenger, manager's fault. Okay, cool. But at some point, you gotta realize, if you keep replacing manager, you still have the players that are rotting. You still have those guys. And Raul, Gazidis were not ruthless enough to get those guys gone. We've seen the termination of Mkhitaryan's contract. We've seen Socrates be frozen out of the team. That's a ruthlessness that we need, but it can't always happen at once in one transfer window, affected by a pandemic. Like Denny's saying, a large part of it is the players. The manager is not free of criticism, but we should also be looking at the owners. The owners are first and foremost there because they let this become a problem over the last 10 years. Lazy, we can't play Ozil because the club froze Ozil out. Ozil's last appearance, he got the only assist in a 1-0 win against West Ham. And now, what are we crying out for? Creativity. Guess who gave us creativity? Mesut Ozil. Guess who used him? Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta, bless his soul, is not outing the club for getting rid of the sole creative spot in this team. It's not the players, bro. Emmanuel, then how did the players also... how did the players also get Emery the sack? How did the players also let what happened with Wenger happen? Obviously, again, the manager's at fault too. Arteta can improve. We don't have the personnel to play, but Arteta can improve a lot. We also got to recognize that...
I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good. Are you okay?
Huh?
Are you okay?
I am. Hey.
Okay. Don't do this.
Can I throw a
Don't do this.
conspiracy theory?
No, Dad, I'm recording for YouTube right now.
Just a quick one.
Okay.
I mean, this is really impacting fantasy football leagues today. Wayne Gallman was about to score a touchdown for the Giants, and he stopped.
The wrong football, Dad. Wrong. I'm talking.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know, and he gave the ball to Alfred Murray. He literally let somebody else score a touchdown to change the scores of the fantasy leagues and the betting games in Las Vegas.
So,
Listen to me. Nobody has said anything yet,
can we?
but it happened.
Thank you, Dad. I
I'm
appreciate it. It's okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay, guys. That's our pro club's goalie.
I'm just a sports guy, so
Talking about the wrong football.
I love all football. Go Tottenham!
Okay, bye, Dad.
I'm sorry.
I love you. Anyway. You know what? Fuck it. I won't even edit that out. But basically, God, I was about to say something good. Basically, yes. Yes. Arteta has blame to be placed. And we all recognize that a big issue that we're having is we have to go out to the wings because we have nothing in the middle. We have nothing in the middle. But then you say, okay, if we and the opponent knows that we have to go to the wings, they're going to prepare for that. And then bam, we have nothing to do. We just end up passing from one side to the other, never penetrating. Enough foreplay. Get it the fuck in, you know? So, the thing is lazy. Fucking shit. Dab. Thank you for the channel point. So, we don't have the personnel to get it in because the club wouldn't get that transfer done. So what do? We put crosses in. But guess what? We don't have the personnel to finish those crosses. And the people that we do have are so out of form that they can't fucking head the ball right. So what are we left with? We can't play through the middle and we can't play out wide. What do? We buy in January. Because this team does not have cohesive characteristics that work and gel and lead to a successful season. Look at Tottenham. Easiest example. Look at Tottenham. They have an engine in the midfield in Højbjerg. They have the game plan, counterattack. And what do? They buy the fucking fastest players in the league. They let Harry Kane drop back and provide that creativity and provide those pinpoint passes. Arsenal can't do that. They're not creative enough. They don't have cohesive profiles. We have so many deep line playmakers in the midfield that can't make any plays because we don't have wingers that will make the runs. Because then they're leaving the midfield exposed, which isn't athletic enough to defend. So you have midfielders that can't do anything unless they're accompanied by the right profile. And the beginning of that right profile is Thomas Partey. However, Thomas Partey is injured. And then we bring him back and he gets injured again. So what can we do? Ricky, much love, my man. Take your time and have a great night. Thank you so much for the raid again, bro. If you're saying Arsenal's getting relegated, again, you have not looked at this table. You just haven't. Let's be real. We are 7 points out of relegation spots, and we're 7 points from top 4. It's way too early in the season to make these kinds of examples. There's a poll in the chat right now saying, is Arsenal the new Everton? If they get rid of Arteta, before, let's say, March. If we continue in March and we are still 7 points from relegation, but we're 25 points from top 4, get rid of Arteta. Sure, whatever. But right now, it's way too early to get rid of him when he hasn't even had a full transfer window to do what he wants to do. And when he has identified the targets that he wants to do, we didn't get them for him. So how are we going to banish him if we already made our bed and picked Arteta? We have to lay in it and give him the time to turn it around, but we can't give him enough time to make it to a transfer window? Come on, guys. It's actually ridiculous. Arteta out in the summer if nothing changes. Exactly. Exactly, lazy. Exactly, man. Because then what's going to happen? If we get rid of Arteta now, we're going to bring another manager who's also going to struggle. And then in 6 months, we'll be talking about this again because we didn't win the FA Cup. Arteta has brought in 2 trophies. And we're not going to give him half a season? When the first half season he jumped into was stopped by COVID? Are we ridiculous? What expectations do we have as Arsenal fans? What has Arsenal done in the last 10 years that makes us think we're worthy of a top 4 spot like that? We have to work for it. We have to work for it, guys. And what have we seen? We've seen that we as a team are not good enough to safely make it into the top 4. So what do? We just keep chucking different problem solvers at the problem until something gets fixed? If we do that, guess what? We're not going to be able to attract top talent. We're not going to be able to. Oh no. The chat died. The chat died. The chat died, guys. Oh no, the stream died. The stream died. I'm still recording though. I'm still recording. Are we back? Are we back, guys? Are we back? Guys, I think we're back. I think we are back. Yeah, we're back, aren't we? We are? Awesome. Well, guys, obviously now you know Twitch is in cahoots with the Premier League. Guys, if you want to catch that part of the rant, you're just going to have to check this video out on YouTube when it jumps on. I'm thinking Friday. Okay? So, guys, Denny said it right here. Same people who want Arteta out was saying trust the process during the FA Cup. There you go. There you go. You got to trust the process and understand that it's not always going to be ups. There's going to be downs. And there's going to be more downs than ups sometimes. But the players have come out and said they still believe in Arteta. Now, they have to show it. And we don't have the personnel to show it. For the reasons I stated before with the midfield. Look at what Arteta's done with the defense. Just start there. Look past the 2 trophies. Look at what he's done with the defense. We're not conceding nearly as many goals as we did before. If we played this Tottenham team against... I'm sorry. If we played this Tottenham team with Emery's Arsenal, we would have conceded 30 shots and we would have conceded 6 goals. Simple as that, man. Simple as that, okay? Please recognize. Please recognize, guys. And it's gonna take time. But the thing is, you have to allow him to get there. You know what I mean? Let me check my next note, because I had a lot going on. But the pressure right now is not on Arteta, and it should not be on Arteta. He can be criticized without saying Arteta out. You can criticize Bellerin for having a bad game, while also acknowledging that he's been one of our best performers this season. You can talk about his foul throws, while also recognizing that he's one of our only creators. You can recognize that Bellerin made a mistake, while also recognizing that he is in charge of the entire right side. The entire right side. If he's caught out of position, it's because he's in the opponent's 6. Consistently. He's not a right back. He's a right winger at this point. And I'm not mad. I just want to make it very clear that Tottenham 2-0 was the expected result. You can't expect Arsenal to win the league if they don't have a top 4 team. You know what I mean? So, Let's see. What am I looking at? The Spurs are literally the best team on form right now. Spurs are literally the best team on form right now. And we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that. Alba's getting too big for his boots after signing his new contract renewal. He's turning into the new Pogba, only performing what he wants. Mr. Bonks, I think that's completely outrageous and wrong. All of our attackers are underperforming because they don't get the ball. Because we have no fluidity in the midfield. We don't have the personnel in the midfield to do the job. And we have a manager that's figuring it out right now. You need Adama in right wing and someone like Ricardo Pereira at right back. That's not going to make a difference if we don't sign the midfield profiles we need. You can do 10 right things and one wrong thing and people only pick up on the one wrong thing. That's just how it is. That's exactly right, Minnie. And the thing is, Arsenal fans, we need to be realistic and understand that we are not a top 4 team as things stand. We had that expectation going into the season because we were in a transfer window and we had identified the profiles that we needed. And that's not to say that Housamawar specifically will solve everything. But it's a start. It's a start. The players trust Arteta. The board trusts Arteta. The board is not perfect, but the board trusts Arteta. The fans need to trust Arteta, man. 4 months ago, he won us 2 trophies in a month. Against City. Against Chelsea. Against Liverpool. Attackers need to move more. Need to show more in the middle. We finally saw that against Spurs. They started to show in the middle. Willian would pull up. Aubameyang would pull up. Lacazette would pull up. But we need more of that, and we need someone who can consistently get that pass in, especially now that Party's hurt. Arsenal need to address that. Miles says we need a creative midfielder and a good finisher on the wing. You're exactly right, my man. Exactly right. We need that kind of profile on the wing as well. We need that kind of profile. So with all that said, and with my opinions, your attackers are world class, they're just lazy. Could be. But we also need someone to give them the ball. They can't, like, literally one of the fundamentals of football. Also, Dab, thank you, Buttery. One of the fundamentals of football. If you get the ball with your back to goal, you pass it out. You know what I mean? Toon, thank you for the hydrate, my man. So, guys. No, Kyle, we don't need to splash more cash on the wing. We need to get the right profiles. And Arsenal's recruitment the last few years has been quite wrong. I think, yeah, so Beach was saying Spurs are just better at the moment than expected. Exactly. Spurs are the better team, and we knew that going in. So why are Arsenal fans having a fucking meltdown as soon as we say, oh, they are the better team? Oh my God. We need to recognize that changes are being made and improvements are being made, but it's going to be gradual. And yes, we're 15th right now. Sure, we're as far from top 4 as we are from relegation. Okay? You should have never got rid of Oxlade. 40 mil for Oxlade, I think, was a great deal. Honestly. But I hear you. Spurs are the best team in the league right now. 100%. Yeah, Miles. 100%. 100%. But we, as fans, cannot turn on the players. And we cannot turn on the man. Because at the end of the day, the board's chosen to back Arteta. And they made the bet. We need to lie in it. And we need to move forward. So moving forward, we need to talk about what kind of players we need. Because Arteta has a choice now. Do we continue down this route of focusing our entire attack on crossing, on the aerial game? Because if that happens, we need a target man. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have a Giroud right now. It would be nice to have a Giroud right now, but there are players that we can get that fit that profile and can also counterattack that would fit the abilities of Aubameyang and Pepe. Erling Braut Haaland has a 60 mil release clause in the summer. What we need to focus on is making sure we don't fucking slip up in the Europa League. And focus on improving. TBH just got a defender. Here's the thing, Buttery. That's not our most pressing need. Up until 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we had conceded the least goals in the league. But yo, I'm not saying Haaland's gonna sign. I'm saying like it's those players are out there, and we need to make ourselves attractive enough for those players. Thomas Partey came in, but the longer we stay in the Europa League, the less likely we are to keep attracting those players. And here's the thing: if we got another manager, we're not going to win the Europa League. We can't implement a new style of football in the Europa League semifinal. You know what I mean? That's just not going to happen. Arsenal are in the weird spot, but I'm literally writing out what they have to do. We need to identify if we're going to be that crossing team or if we are going to focus on a more fluid attack. And to do that, we need central midfielders, specifically central midfielders comfortable with playing in the final third. Ceballos, people thought Ceballos was that guy. Ceballos literally hits an invisible wall as soon as he enters final third, and all he can do is pass to the sides. That's all he needs. Arsenal fans do need to relax, 100%. 100%. And don't be shocked when the best team in the league beats you. Come on. Manny, I'm not doing that right now, dog. So, if we are going to be that crossing team, we need to invest in a new center forward. If we are going to be the build-up team, we need to invest in a new center forward after we invest in a new midfield. And that's exactly what we got to do. And while we do that, we got to address the personnel that we have in the club right now. So, let's go ahead and check out the personnel at Arsenal. I'm not going to say who my favorites are or anything like that because some of my favorites do need to go. Buttery, there's a dab. Thank you for the channel point redemption. If you're on YouTube cringing, I'm sorry. So, Matt Macy's leaving in the summer. We've got our goalkeepers. Leno can stay. He's already gone. He's going to be gone. He's our backup. He's going to be gone. He's our backup. He's going to be gone. He could be gone. He could be gone. And then we've got 4 very solid squad / starting players. Mesut Ozil's going to be gone. Bellerin's doing so much to have him fucking listed as a midfielder at this point. Look at that. Look at that. Mr. Bonks, thank you for putting that comment in. I'm going to read it out after we address the current players in the squad, okay? Thomas Partey's injured. Ceballos on a loan. He's not the profile that we necessarily need because he's a very similar profile to Granit Xhaka. One of these we keep, one of these we sell. We can't really have both if we want to improve. El Neni, I personally think we can keep. But we need to recognize he's a squad player. We need to improve on that. Thomas Partey is the future of our midfield right here. Bukayo Saka stays. Emil Smith-Rowe stays. Joe Willock stays. People are saying throw in the young kids in the next game and teach the older guys a lesson. You know what that's going to do? Lose the dressing room and humiliate the young guys. That's not going to make them improve as players. That's going to throw them into the deep end. And it's also going to tell every single senior player in the squad that Arteta doesn't believe in them. How's that going to turn anything around? So if you're saying that, please recognize that you're wrong. Bellerin was shocking today. But at the same time, that doesn't mean he has to leave. And that doesn't mean we need to attack him for his advocacy of the LGBT community or his fashion. Willian is going to be here 3-year contract. We know that. Aubameyang just signed a new 3-year deal. Lacazette's gone. Gotta go. Pepe's likely not going to go. So what are we rocking with? We're rocking with 3 of our 5 attackers, at least listed here. You can include Bukayo Saka, sure. Under the age of 21. So why are we surprised when we buy an older profile, an experienced head in the Premier League that's going to get us that experience and that shadowing that we need? But I counted right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players off the top that can easily be sold. So we got to recognize there's a lot of work to do here, and one COVID impacted transfer window is not going to get all of these guys out, and we won't be able to sign 10 new people to bring them back in. Not even Chelsea can do that. Okay? So guys, it's going to be okay, but you need to recognize this is Arsenal right now, but this isn't going to be Arsenal forever. And we need to back them as they try to improve. If we're here at the end of the season and we're like 18th and there was no sign of improvement, and we backed Arteta in the January transfer window, then we can comfortably say Arteta is likely not that person. But we have to give them the chance. We have to give him the chance. Lacazette was your best attacker today. Alba got 0 service. Aubameyang did get 0 service. And how do you expect an attacker to do well in a game if he doesn't get the ball? Let's make it very clear. He's not going to do well. Now, I want to read Mr. Bonk's opinion. This is my opinion of what Arteta needs to look for in the transfer window. You need a midfielder who's fast and can penetrate the opposition's defense. We saw Partey do that. Partey is capable of doing that, but we need someone who we can dedicate that role to. You need a midfielder who can apply support to the wingers and a striker that can push into the final third. You need a midfielder who's box-to-box that is an all-rounder, just my opinion. That box-to-box midfielder is Thomas Partey. That winger that can push into the final third is Nicolas Pepe. But they can't do their job if we don't have that midfielder that can pass through the middle and carry the ball into the final third. We've identified players who can do that. But the thing is, every one of our players is so hesitant to push forward because they know the midfield cannot support a counterattack. So they don't push forward. You see William grab the ball, turn around and pass it back. And that's because we don't have the correct profiles in the midfield. It's not saying that Granit Xhaka isn't a Premier League level player. It's not saying that Oneni or Ceballos are not good midfielders. It's saying that these guys are not the proper combination that we need. We need more than just this. These two guys, Xhaka and Ceballos, play the same role. Okay? So guys, on YouTube, I'm going to cut it off right there. If you want to see more, you got to jump on Twitch. It's where we do all of these discussions and play more. We play FIFA, we play Among Us, we do all sorts of stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube. Again, if you want to get the full conversation, you got to go on Twitch. Please, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys later.